Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to another episode of NerdyNick. This week's episode, I'm going to be going over my top favorite PS1 games that I have in my collection so far. So let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, so coming in first, well actually last, we have the first Rayman for the PS1. Now this game, right away you can see the fun factor in all the different colors and vibrant atmosphere that it has. It's a 2D side-scrolling platformer with, and I will say this with the biggest urgency I can if you're out there and gonna play it, moderate to extremely difficult maps. These levels are not to be underestimated. While the gameplay is smooth, the timing of jumping from platform to platform and fighting different enemies without really any instruction can be pretty challenging. It is a basic platformer, but in one of the lists that I've read in an article not too long ago, it also listed it as the most difficult PS1 game of all time. If this is true or not, I don't know. But I do have my own pains with this game. Coming in at number 4 is Tiny Tank. This game is packed full of 90s attitude. This game is probably as, I would say, replayable 10 out of 10. This game you can just pick up and go. The playstyle of the game is really like, I would say, a mix of Twisted Metal and Vigilante 8, which are both vehicular combat games. In Tiny Tank, you play as a very undersized, yellow little guy named Tiny. He's humanity's last hope against a robotic army wiping out, human existence. Throughout this game, you explore a 3D, free-roaming open world, as open world as you can get for a PS1 game, destroying enemies of all kinds, robotic and whatnot. And the cool thing about the weapon system is you always have your standard green laser cannon weapon, but you can pick up the weapons of your fallen enemies that you've killed, and you take their guns and whatnot and, destroy other enemies with it. It's a really fun game, lots of attitude with it. Tiny Tank makes up for his small size with his quippy dialogue. So this game I would definitely check out. It's not a game that you typically see around the circuit very much, and one that's very talked about. Coming in at number 3 is Micromaniacs Racing by Codemasters. This game is a Fox Kids exclusive for the PS1. So you might be wondering, what the hell is this game? It never had a cartoon, so how can it be a Fox Kids exclusive? Well, back in the day when Flash games were super popular, they had this as a game on Fox Kids' website. So Micromaniacs Racing is pretty hectic and pretty crazy as you play shrunken mutant racers. And this is a foot racing game, but it does have some vehicle type racing modes. So, like I said, you're shrunken down. Regular maps on this game are extremely, I would say, odd. Because since you're shrunken down, environments like messy kitchen countertops and birthday party setups are extremely large maps for the game. It's really fun to play, and each mutant character has their own special abilities to add some combative gameplay into the game, which makes it extremely fun and extremely challenging. For instance, there's a character named Mesme who's like telekinetic, and if she locks onto you with one of her special abilities, it has the power to reverse your controls. So right is left and left is right. It totally messes you up when you least expect it, and it's such a cheap shot, such a deep, dirty shot. And another character named like Meemaw. It's like this weird dog, pig, hybrid mutant kind of guy that almost looks like Gollum but with a nose ring. One of his abilities is to like a toxic fart blast, and another one where he launches his like tongue out and bites your head off. So it's really fun, and this is one of the few PS1 games that really use the multi-tap adapter very well. You can play up to 8, you and 7 other friends could play this game on the same screen. While it sounds kind of like crazy and whatnot, it is totally fun, and I would definitely recommend this game to anyone who likes fun arcadey type racing games. Coming in at number 2, SpiderMan for the PS1 is one of the best ever Spider-Man games created in like the history of Spider-Man games. This one was done absolutely right. It's a 3D open, I want to say open map, beat 'em up, adventure type games. The game, I should say, the game manual says it as a open world type game, but nowadays that's kind of a little bit different with games like Skyrim and Fallout out there. But this one was one for the ages. Web slinging from skyscraper to skyscraper, saving, the New York City from all the villains was totally fun. They got the wall crawling, the ceiling crawling, they even got the spidey senses down to like a T. And it's really cool that you see cameos from other superheroes. Like in the first or second level, you see Johnny Blaze and you see the Black Cat. So I mean, this game was just like jam-packed with awesomeness. The colors were vibrant. He had the classic Spidey suit on. You got to face foes like Venom, Doc Ock, and like the Rhino even. This game was one of those that was just like, as a kid, if you didn't have it, why do you have a PS1? This game was also made by Neversoft and produced by Activision. The same coupling that brought you your favorite Tony Hawk games. So you know this game was made with tender love and care. Coming in at number 1 is one you might not expect, but for me, it's Siphon Filter. This game, made by 989 Studios, who also brought you the Twisted Metal series, is one of those games that's just really captivating and challenging for its time. Back when it first came out, this was one of like the first 3D, 360 degree shooters that was out on the PS1. In this game, you play as a terror agent, and you're basically out there trying to save the world. All is simple and sounds kind of like Mission Impossible-esque, but this game had some of the most challenging maps out there. The AI in the game was kind of subpar, it's run and gun type gaming, but the environments out there were really challenging. For instance, when you're down below in the subways, you've got fire going here, fire going there. Where do I go? So you've really got to look around, figure out where to climb, what to jump over and whatnot, and it was really fun. This game had an arsenal of weaponry that would make John Rambo jealous. I remember playing this game for hours and hours as a kid, and still do to this day. This game spawned a very full franchise that went all the way on to the PS2. And I'm not sure if it went on to the PS3 or not. No, it just went on to the PS2. But it spawned over like 5 or 6 games. So that says something. This is a game that would really mean a lot for gamers who picked this game up in the 90s to be remade nowadays. Or even just reboot the series. This game was one of those run and gun type shooters that you can just pick up and play. Of course, people, they always say graphics. Visually, all of these games on my list, they're not the best, but that's not what made them so great. It's the gameplay. For me, it's just like weightlifting. You never sacrifice form over weight, and you never sacrifice graphics over gameplay. All these games on my list have a special place in my heart for nostalgic reasons, but primarily, these games are available to just be able to pick up, play, and have a good time. And that's what playing games is all about. Being a collector, that's what's most important to me. I can have a mix of original releases or the greatest hits with the green little spine releases. I don't care. I love the games for what they are, for what they're there for. To entertain us, to make us feel good, and to have a great time. Alright guys, so these are some of my top favorite PS1 games out of my collection so far. All of these games, they're not like necessarily cookie cutter games. Some of them you've heard of, some of them you haven't, which is really cool because then I just shared some new games with you to go out and try to hunt yourselves. Let me know in the comments down below what PS1 games you like to play, or what were your favorites as a kid that you loved to play and put hours into. Make sure to hit subscribe so you see more content every week. It looks like I will be having a set schedule coming up here pretty soon, which I will announce in the next video. Not this one, but the one after this. So make sure to stay tuned and watch that episode to get the date and schedule for all my upcoming videos. Alright guys, I really appreciate you watching again. Take care, NerdyNick out.